y'all, so I thought today I would do the It's Finally Fall book tag. This was originally created by somebody who's no longer on BookTube. The original video is also no longer here. The creator, Elena, took it down, but I will still have the questions linked for you down below. This is an oldie but a goodie and something you could redo every year, and I love it, so let's get in. In the fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. I'm gonna go with The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. The author did such a great job of describing the setting, particularly of the island, and I absolutely loved it. Not quite fall vibes by any means, but a wonderful setting. Nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. Okay, I'm gonna mention The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin and Larry Sands. I read this a couple years ago for a booktubeathon actually, and I absolutely loved it. I finished it in about a day. It is beautifully written, it's raw, it's real, and it covers so many topics. Drug use and addiction, the death of a parent, found family, being gay in the United States, and the prejudices that go along with that. It was just phenomenal. It follows and is written from the perspective of the main character, which is a boy in his senior year, figuring out his next steps, whether he wants to go to college or not, where he wants to go, and dealing with the fact that there's this inevitable change in life that is coming and everything that he has to deal with in his senior year. He has a wonderful best friend named Sam, who is a wonderful character. I loved her, and their journeys throughout the year. And it's written in diary entries. They're like dated. Oh, I guess they're not dated, but they're short little chapters. It is in chronological order throughout the year, and I loved it. Fall is back to school season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new. This is another one that's a hard read. It's a short memoir. It's about 100 pages. And it's not even that long because it's got pictures, and the book itself is shorter. It is The Rocket Diaries: Escape from Islamic State by Samir, which is a pseudonym for the author. This is essentially a memoir that was passed along to, I believe, a BBC journalist by either mail, email, something to those likings, that he was getting these letters to this journalist, and it is his experience in Syria, and the area that was taken over by ISIS and under ISIS control. And what this book really did is, it, in a lot of ways, it changed my life and how I view the world. And more importantly, I learned that I needed to start taking in news and media from a variety of different sources, and I learned that the media is biased. When I first read this, initially when I would consume media from the Times, Fox, CNN, I didn't realize that these news sources were in any way biased and didn't report things fully accurate, or reported accurately but specifically chose what they were going to show to craft a certain narrative which might not reflect the overall picture. I remember reading this and being, when I finished, it was one of those moments where I was speechless. I was mad, I was angry, I was frustrated. As a human being, I felt betrayed by our government, because we stand for freedom and democracy for all, and more importantly, the treatment of people as people, and here we were handling a situation in a way that impacted the people in Syria negatively. Yeah, it was just one of those things that I remember being quite upset we weren't doing more, and we weren't doing it in a way that was really helping those people. And that transformed the way I thought, and I went on this discovery from there to start learning that I needed to get my news from multiple sources. So it was a very eye-opening book for me, and the thought process that I went down in weeks following. I believe I actually read it in the same readathon that I read The Inexplicable Logic in My Life. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with people we love. Name a fictional family, household, or friend group you would like to be a part of. I don't want to get canceled, but the honest truth is probably the Weasley family from the Harry Potter series. That to me is like the ideal family. It's not perfect, but it's warm and loving, and they make what little they have, they make the most out of that, and even when they have so little, they're willing to help others and willing to do things for the greater good. And so yes, I think spending time with the Weasleys would be a lot of fun. Colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us some fall colored spines. So I knew this was in this tag, so I did grab some fall books. Unfortunately, where I live, I do not think I will get full fall colors, but that's okay. There you go, some fall colored spines. We've got Homegoing by Agassi, The Martian by Andy Weir, and Saving Ruby King by Catherine Adel West. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by Fireside. Share a book wherein somebody is telling a story. Okay, well, I actually mentioned this in my recent reads, how the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories, which is the short story collection that is associated with the Folk of the Air series, actually has the same story being retold multiple times throughout that book. So that perfectly fits this question. The nights are getting darker. Share a dark and creepy read. Not like super creepy, but it is a thriller, and it's the best thriller I've read in a really long time, and that is Lucy Foley's The Guest List. I absolutely love that. I want to reread this. It is a semi-closed circle mystery, and it takes place on an island on the few days leading up to the wedding, including, I believe, the wedding day, and somebody gets murdered, and it's a whodunit, and there's a lot of characters with motives. So it makes it really fun to try to figure out who it is, and it's very atmospheric. I read it in the fall. I think it's a great fall read, and I do want to reread it this year. The days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. This is a graphic novel, but it's called Heart and Brain, and it's by the people who do the Awkward Yeti webcomics by Nick Saluk. It is really funny. It's I recommend getting it from the library. That's where I got a copy to read, and it shows the dichotomy of what your brain is thinking and what your heart is telling you, and how those two never seem to add up. It's cute, it's wonderful, I love the art style, it was great. Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you would like to return to soon. So I'm hoping this month in October to reread The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Zagas. This is a retelling of several Victorian monster stories, and it's set in London. Sherlock even makes an appearance, following a feminist girl group and of monsters, and I really enjoyed it the first time I read it. I think I will enjoy it even more upon reread, but I need to reread this so I can read the sequel to this book, which is The Monstrous Guide to whatever the rest of the title is, to be honest. But I'm really excited to reread this. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading night. Share your favorite cozy reading accessory. When I don't have out yet, because it is far too hot to need a heated throw blanket, I love it. You just plug it in and it keeps you nice and toasty warm, and sometimes I'll even like put it at the foot of my bed and warm up where my feet would be. Because to be honest, I try to avoid turning on the heater. I live in Houston, so there's not a lot of reasons to turn it on. But I find when you turn on the heater, it gets really dry. And so I prefer not to do that. Also, the electricity bill is not fun. So I love that. And they're not too expensive from Target. I think you can, or Walmart, you can get it for like less than 50 bucks. Or you can get a nice one for even more. But the other cozy reading accessory is this cozy knit cardigan. Sometimes I'll put it on in the morning after a shower, but if it's cold, but I can avoid like turning on the heater, I will put this on and read, and I love it, and it's cozy, and I think I got it from Walmart or Costco or somewhere like that. It wasn't very expensive, and I love it. And if you choose to do the Finally Fall reading tag, please link your video down below. And what are you guys most looking forward to doing this fall season? And stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.